Well, they finally did it. I haven't been paying a lot of attention to this stuff because I just don't have time for nonsense. But we finally passed the event horizon. The church, as it's known, is gone. People's brains are gone. There's actually people arguing over how this recent event took place, which, as I've stated many times, if something is real, there's not 9 versions of how it may have taken place. There's just one. It's something that was real. It happened, and there's no there's no discrepancies. It's just it happened. So none of this makes any sense, but it's really revealed. I thought COVID was bad, where people fell for something that was an obvious LARP. And some people are saying that, oh, yeah, they realized on 9/11 they could get away with anything. No, they realized at COVID that they could get away with anything, and they're proving it right now. So instead of arguing over how it happened, because I have my suspicions as to how they um, faked it. Apparently now his wife, who I have had from day one, I never saw his wife before. Like I said, Charlie Kirk, it wasn't as famous as they're making it out to be. There was just a circle of conservatives, and then like a lot of college students knew who he was, but like the average Joe on the street 2 weeks ago, no idea. Um, so I had no clue who his wife was. I didn't even know what she looked like. I didn't even know he was married. I had no idea. The second I saw her, I knew. I said, that is an actress, a handler, an agent. Uh, say whatever you want. She is clearly a terrible actress. I don't know how people can't see through this stuff. I don't know. Something's happened. I don't know if it was the jab. Something has turned people. So we've passed the event horizon, and that includes like the retard scale. We've tipped it. We've gone over to the point where now it's leaning heavily towards mental retardation, and not sure at this point. There's no way it's not coming back. There's too many people are invested. Too many people have stated their opinion. Too few people have the ability to say I was wrong or to backtrack. They'll just double and triple down. Um, and on that note, apparently the rapture is like in a day or two. So there's that. Even though it's not biblical, unbelievable. Not only do we have the rapture, which is going to come and go, nothing's going to happen. These people will not be held accountable. I don't know what the people who have all these. I don't do TikTok, but apparently TikTok is the place where a lot of people are talking about. And these people are convinced. Like, people are selling assets. They're leaving notes for their family who they say are going to get left behind. I mean, these people are all in. I don't see any of them apologizing. I think they're just going to move on to the next one. They're not going to say, oh, my bad. They're just going to go, they're going to start the 3 days of darkness next. They'll just brush the rapture aside, which again, not biblical. Bible clearly says that those who endure to the end, well, who would those people be? And a lot of people don't understand. Maybe they do. I mean, like I said, we passed the retard tipping point. That the rapture is an American doctrine. Like, other countries don't believe in it. A lot of them never heard of such a thing. So only America is special enough to get taken away and avoid the tribulation, which clearly it says those living at that time will have to go through. Because how else can you endure to the end if you're not there? It's unbelievable. So these people, these evangelical Christians who wouldn't know a Bible verse if it hit them upside the head, think that all these other Christians in other countries who have been dying, being murdered, killed in front of their families, tortured for decades, if not hundreds of years, they don't matter. It's just that the Americans can't go through it because it's, I don't understand how these people can think that they're so special. I mean, American evangelicals think they're the special boy. It's pretty insane. And, it doesn't matter that Christ himself said that no man knows the day or the hour, not even Jesus or the angels, only the Father knows. Apparently, when you translate that, it means September 23rd or 24th of 2025. Absolutely insane. I don't know. This is like what, the 10th rapture that we've all lived through in our lifetimes, maybe more. It's insane. And like I said, once this passes and nothing happens, they're not gonna say anything about it. They're just gonna move on to the 3 days of darkness, which is another false doctrine. It's I think it was a Catholic doctrine. It has nothing to do with the Bible saying 3 days of darkness. The whole thing was like, this is old too. This isn't like recent. This is like old Catholic doctrine, the 3 days of darkness. You're supposed to shut all your windows. Don't even look outside. What was it? You're supposed to burn beeswax candles. I mean, it's a pagan ritual. It has nothing to do with the Bible. But my guess is they're going to pivot from the rapture when it doesn't happen to 3 days of darkness. It's already starting. I think some people are trying to get like a lead on it. It's pretty crazy. But what's amazing is in Matthew 24, which is arguably one of the most pivotal chapters in the entire Bible, because it's Christ speaking. His disciples ask him, what will be the signs of your return? I mean, they're curious. They're like, how are we going to know when you're about to come back? And he lists off a lot of stuff. Okay. He lists off false Christs. He lists off plagues, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. He goes on and on and on. But he chooses to start with, take heed, let no man deceive you. First words out of his mouth is about not to be deceived. And what are we seeing right now? We're seeing a massive deception and all these people falling for it. How they can't tell that this is an agenda is mind-blowing. It's just like COVID. It's just another form of that psyop that people couldn't see what that was really about. And they can't see what this is really about until they're like enslaved in chains, and they'll be like, wait a minute. I don't even know if it'll dawn on them at that point. So, I mean, the 30-06, I mean, come on. But the thing is, people are arguing about a 30-06 would have blown his whole head. It would have gone through his, there's no way. Well, he's Superman. So, it stopped this massive round. I mean, it's just insane. And people are arguing back and forth about, just all the little aspects of it. There's another video I just saw yesterday that came out, because there was a lot of people, quote unquote, recording that with their phones. And we've only seen, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 different views. I mean, the fact that they, didn't cordon off the crime scene, just let people stomp through it all willy-nilly, where he was supposedly laying there bleeding out. They're just walking through like, Sunday in the park, no big deal. Not even looking down to make sure they don't step or slip in any gore. Just walking around. Take his chair that he was sitting in, use it to stand on. I mean, it's a circus clown show, and the fact that they're mocking you, obviously, but people are arguing about it. Like, well, why would they? Because there's still even the people saying like, oh, entrance wound, no, exit wound, oh, can't be a 30-06, it had to have been this, it had to have been that. They're arguing all these stupid points instead of taking a step back and going, the whole thing was fake. Okay? It's just fake. It's like watching an episode of, it's like watching John Wick and then arguing over like, oh, no, the ballistics, that guy, that wouldn't have happened if John Wick shot that. It's like, you realize it's a movie, right? Those are all special effects, stuntmen, actors. There's a script. They probably, they're still arguing over semantics when it's like, instead of taking a step back and going, the whole thing is fake. And they've got the mind virus in people so deeply now that if you say that wasn't real, that you are basically Hitler reincarnated, you're the worst person. It's unbelievable. And this is like the worst thing that could have happened to the evangelical Christians, because they were already just intolerable, insufferable, just horrible human beings. And now they're energized. Now every false doctrine they believed and the fact that they didn't actually do what the Bible says, it's been magnified. It's just absolutely insane that, like you said, I think we're past the point of no return. I think he's insane. I think he's got dementia. I think he's falling apart, rotting. He's saying things that are just mind-blowing. People are okay with that because he's their Messiah, so he can do and say whatever, because you have to trust the plan. All right? He's playing 33D chess. So just sit back and let it happen. Yeah, that's exactly what Q, which is Operation Trust, that's exactly what that is just sit back and let it happen. Don't worry about it. And then by the time it's all done, it's too late. Because you sat back and waited for the White Knights to come in and fix everything, and you're now in a FEMA camp or wherever, dead, whatever. So they had another video, like I was saying, and these videos are going to leak out slowly. I don't know. You've got the 4K cameras that were like right there, part of, I was going to call this Tipping Point USA, this video, because I think we have gone over the tipping point instead of whatever it's really called. But under no circumstance would the FBI, during a quote unquote political assassination, allow not only they never once put yellow tape around the crime scene. I mean, are you kidding me? And anybody with access could just remove the SD cards out of the cameras, stick it in their pocket, and whistle Dixie as they stroll on home, I guess. And people think that they're starting to pick sides. There's literally a crazy amount of people who think that Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, that these people are on your side. You've got to be kidding me, right? Not even because Candace still thinks it was real. She's just saying they're not telling us who really did it. No, they're not, but also it wasn't real. So these people are all simply controlled opposition, because you have to, for it to work, you have to have two sides. If everybody was like on the one side, it wouldn't work. You have to have the heroes on your side who are truth tellers. That's how this whole divide and conquer works. If it was just one side and the same narrative, then people would get sus. They'd be like, wait a minute. But since there is a side of good guys on your side who believe the things you believe, who are fighting for you, well, then of course you're going to be on that team. But no, I'm still seeing brand new videos coming out with ballistics, and they're shooting like ballistic gel and elk. See, a 30-06 couldn't go through there, so they're not telling the truth. The whole thing was fake, okay? the ballistic or the bullet used and the gun used and who did it, yeah, that's just scratching the surface. These are all distractions because it didn't happen. So I was going to say, like twice I've tried to start and I didn't finish my thought. I saw another video yesterday that had never been out before. And I don't know if they're, putting these things out after they doctor the hell out of them. Who knows? But this one shows him on the ground where they lift him up to carry him away. And you get to see him. Like they actually kind of carry him incorrectly for someone who's bleeding from the neck, allegedly. But that aside, these guys, there was no EMTs present, and the other thing that's weird is like usually when something goes down like that, the first thing that happens is the area, you just see cops just show up they got their guns out and they're all looking around. They're kind of like, I saw one cop in every video I've seen so far. The one cop that was like this little Asian dude that was, I don't know. He totally looked like he was acting. He has his little pistol out and his hand out like, no, you can't come back, as they were carrying Chuck through to the car. No cops anywhere. It didn't show up. There was no EMTs, no ambulance there. They didn't cordon off the crime scene. They didn't tape it off. They tore it down like within hours. And I think they've like concreted over it now, like dug up the ground and they're going to put a statue or something there. I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. I was seeing, somebody was saying that like a friend of theirs died of a heart attack based on a drug overdose. And that they like kept the body on ice for like 2 weeks while they investigated to find out like, if they could trace where the drugs came from, who was selling this drug that caused heart attacks. Well, this guy was like done, wiped our hands, dusted it off, ready for the ground in like 2 days. Crime scene was what? It wasn't even like minutes. It was just like anybody that wants to can walk through here, take whatever you want. It's good to go. I mean, the people who see this stuff and believe it was real, like I said, Event Horizon, we've gone over the tipping point. There's these people, they could have said Donald Duck was the assassin and that he was radicalized by Minnie Mouse, and people that would have been fine. They'd have been like, yeah, damn Minnie. I always thought she was up to something. I mean, little Donald Duck with a bazooka from the grassy knoll, and the majority of people would have run with it. They'd have been like, yeah, finally figured it out. It's that ludicrous. Seriously. I mean, it's unbelievable. So anyway, this video I saw where they were picking him up off the ground. Two things I noticed right away. And again, they could be AI-ing the crap out of this stuff before it gets released. But why they would do this is crazy, because it doesn't support their narrative. So he was wearing a bright white t-shirt, no logo on it. It didn't say freedom. It was just a white t-shirt, completely flawless, not a drop of blood on it. And you see the part of his shirt, like by his neck, where all the quote unquote, nothing, pristine, just like his shoes. His entire t-shirt was as white and clean as his tennis shoes are the whole time. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. And people were saying it was unbelievable because so they have this video where it shows he's got a shirt on that has no lettering on it, no blood on it. And people were focused on, that's not how you pick somebody up who's, got a wound in their neck. You're not supposed to elevate their feet. And I'm like, what? Like this is what you guys got out of the videos? They're not picking him up correctly. Not the fact that there's no wound, no blood, different t-shirt. I mean, I'm expecting more stuff to happen, and it could be absolutely off the hook crazy because people believe it. I think they're pushing the narrative that, it's Israel, just to keep that division so that people don't go down the road of the whole thing was fake. That's the one thing they don't want. You can say it was, a liberal loony with a trans testicle boyfriend, or you could say it was a intelligent, whatever, as long as you believe it happened and you may differ on who you think was responsible. As long as you go with he was taken out, they're fine with that. They don't care. But they don't want people going, too many discrepancies, too many things don't make sense, too many things that are contradicting other things. It didn't happen. It was faked. Did he have a bulletproof vest? Did he not? Did it ricochet off his thing? Did he have this? Did he have that? It's like, where's the exit wound? The back of the tent was pristine. There's no blood spatter. As long as they can keep you in that arena, they don't care. Where's the autopsy? It's absolutely insane. There is no autopsy. You don't do an autopsy of like an episode of Seinfeld. It didn't happen. Okay. No, Vance is not the biblical Antichrist. If it's not Trump, then the Antichrist won't be on the scene for quite a while, because it would take years or longer to have somebody start checking all the boxes that the Bible show as the traits and the characteristics of the Antichrist. Basically, we'd be starting from scratch. I don't know how they could make like all these biblical prophecies about the Antichrist all happen like really quick. So if it's not Trump, then that means we're years, if not a decade or so away. And I just don't see it. At the speed things are going and the state that people are in, I can't see that we're that far off. I mean, it's got to be real soon. I think the whole thing's over within 2033, 2034 max, maybe before that it's all done. I just don't think they have time to start with like another individual who suddenly just starts checking like this, because there's a whole lot of descriptions of the Antichrist in the Bible, and a lot of characteristic traits, a lot of things he does. I can't see him starting from scratch. I mean, Trump's already got 85% of everything the Bible describes checked off, if not more. He keeps checking more. I mean, he's not slowing down, if anything. And a lot of people are saying that, oh, Trump's not smart enough to be the Antichrist. He's not this, he's not that. What people don't understand is the Antichrist is a vessel that Satan inhabits. So the second Satan inhabits the avatar of the man, all that guy's shortcomings, or if he's like got dementia, or that's all out the window, because now Satan's driving the bus. So it's no longer that individual. I don't think Trump's gonna die before his term is done. I could see there being an event where it looks like kind of like a Charlie Kirk, almost like it was a trial run, like that same sort of thing happens to Trump, but instead of like, he was dead before he hit the floor, he would quote unquote die and then come back either oh God, miraculously, or Elon Musk, Neuralink, something, they tried some experimental thing and he's back. I mean, I could see him quote unquote dying and then returning, but not like dying and staying dead. No. The magic bullet, it was deflected by his titanium spine and was, I guess, like right under the skin. I mean, the whole thing is so ridiculous. And they're sticking with the 30-06. And I don't know, I have one. I'm sure a lot of you have one. I'm sure a lot of you have shot one. It's almost like saying, you might as well just say the guy used a bazooka, because it's literally that stupid. Let's see. Do we have? So yeah, see, I don't know. Like, see if you can find that video. I'm not sure where I even saw it, but it shows him on the ground and they're like picking him up and moving. And his shirt, like I said, pristine, white, no logo. just like his tennis shoes, just absolutely like almost a level of white that hurts your eyes. Not a drop of anything on his shoes or his shirt. It doesn't say freedom on his shirt. It's just white. I mean, like, I don't know if they're doctoring these videos to put things in there to make the few that can see notice, or if that's a real video. Like, I think whatever part of the video, before, after, during, whatever, I think if not all, at least portions and some of it is AI. I don't think, I mean, people that were there, the first eyewitnesses were saying he was shot in the chest. One was like, yeah, I hit him right in the heart. And obviously that didn't happen. I don't know what the people that were there actually saw. I don't know. I don't think it looked like what we saw on the video. I think that video was AI manipulated. I don't know if, like, you know, if enough people talk about seeing a snake, then suddenly I saw the snake too. If that's what they did, where they just basically had several people say what they saw, and these people in their head, they actually think they saw all this, you know, mayhem and gore, when there's no blood on the way from there to the vehicle. There's none on his clothes. There's none on his shoes. There's apparently none where he fell, because they were just walking around all willy-nilly, like doing whatever, removing SD cards, and they carried the camera. They took it down, carried it over to like right where he was. Like, they would have had to have walked right through where he fell to go to that table, set the camera down, take the card out. I mean, none of it makes any sense. Okay. So, you know, oh, he's hitting the carotid artery and, you know, lost all the blood. He was dead immediately. There would be so much blood. I mean, it would be, I don't know how people don't see it. It's absolutely insane. But, yeah, I don't know. I think, and there's something very wrong with the wife. I'm not going to make any claims. I don't know. Apparently she's Jesuit. She was Jesuit trained in some schools. I don't know where. Anyway, a lot of stuff's coming out about her, but according to the Christian evangelical, she's basically Mary part 2. Like, she is now like a deity. You know, and I didn't watch that. That thing was so weird that I don't know what you call it. I guess they call it a funeral or a memorial, whatever they called it. The fact that I've heard numbers from 90,000 to 300,000 people attended. When you add up the people inside plus all the people that were outside, if there were 12 people that showed up to that thing, I would think that, like, you know, this country's in pretty bad shape. If 90 to 300,000 people, somewhere in that range, showed up for this thing, meaning that A, they believe the narrative, they're all in. B, they're mourning someone who faked his death. And C, think this is all real, and they're like, they think they're Christians, but they have zero discernment. They can't see through obvious deceptions, even though Christ said, take heed, let no man deceive you. First thing out of his mouth, Matthew 24. I don't like where this is headed. And I think this event, as opposed to like COVID, 9/11, all those, this is the one event I think where it's gone over the tipping point. Like, I think this is the one. And if they, I almost think, because people's attention spans and their give a shits don't last that long, they have the attention span like a goldfish nowadays. They have to do one of two things. They either have to have another event or multiple events, or they have to act on what they want this one to accomplish quickly. Because, like, remember Diddy and the drones in New Jersey? People get all, you know, they get all in, and then it just fades, and they don't care anymore, because most people's lives suck, And once that wears off, they go back to like, I can't afford to buy, groceries, and their focus shifts. So, in my opinion, they either have to, whatever they wanted this event to lead to, it has to happen quickly, or they have to keep pouring it on. It has to be one and then another. Before people can decompress, they have to hit them with another one. So I think this is the point where whatever you want to say about, JFK, 9/11, all these, fake shootings, COVID, if anything, those were warm-ups. I think they've got it down pretty good, because if you compare, because when I first saw the video initially, like first viewing, when it first, oh, whoa, it was like, oh, but, a lot of people just watch it once and they're like, oh, it was so disturbing, I can't see that again. So they don't really look into it and see all the discrepancies and the things that don't make sense. They see it once, they let their emotions take over, and then they've got their mindset. This is, oh, it's the whatever. And then they just go off, with the mainstream, and the government tells them, oh, it was a left lunatic, a lone gunman on a roof how'd he get on the roof? You can't go. I dare anybody listening to this video to just pick your local university, just whatever one's nearby, go there, find one of the tall buildings and go, I'm going to go up on the roof and see how that turns out for you. But you got to be carrying like a backpack and like a bag with, some heavy stuff. Get on that roof. Preferably when there's like a lot of, like, over 3,000 people there for an event, and there's like people everywhere and apparently drones and whatever else. Go get on the roof to a building at your local university and see how that works out for you. To the point where the only way down apparently was to jump off like a second-story building. If that's, why wouldn't he just go down the way he came up? Like if he, went up the stairs and opened a door to the roof and stepped out on the roof, why wouldn't you just go back down the same? Why would you do this whole sprint across the roof and then dangle? And I mean, the whole thing is so ridiculous. Nobody is saying, I heard one person say, how'd he get up there? They just said he got up on the roof and then blah, blah, blah. It's like, wait, take a step back. What was that first thing you said? He got up on the roof. That's it. He got up on the roof. Okay. He just got up on the roof. Let me scan some of the comments here. I don't know what you're talking about. Your face is gone. Oh, 30-06? The entire head's gone. I mean, there would be like maybe piece of ligament holding. I mean, it would just be like, what was that movie? Like I think it was in the 70s, called Scanners, where like that guy's head exploded. It basically be that. But it's not so much the narrative, like what they say. Oh, it was this caliber and this. It's the fact that if you really look at in none of it happened. Because if it wasn't what they say it was, then it was nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you look at the video, I mean, people can't even agree on whether that's an entrance or an exit wound. If it's an exit wound, then he was hit from the rear by something small. If it's an entrance wound, there's no exit wound. And so they had to come out with the Man of Steel titanium neck bone. I mean, it's literally insane. Instead of, well, it's an entrance wound. No, it's an exit wound. Oh, is this caliber? No, it had to be some. How about it didn't happen? The reason it doesn't make sense and it doesn't look right is because it's not real. Now, is he on some island or is he in Jerusalem sipping Mai Tais? I don't know. I don't know where they put these people who fulfill their role on the world stage and then, retire. I know some of them, like I said, some of them I think do come back as another character later. But I mean, Charlie Kirk, like I said before, he was really goofy looking, 6'5". It'd be really tough to have him come back as like another character. Not impossible, but I mean, people are so dumb now. He could probably come back with like just pull a Clark Kent, like it's literally Charlie Kirk with like glasses on. And they're like, yeah, this is Gary so-and-so. And people would be like, oh, Gary, nice to meet you. Nobody would even put it together. All they have to do is put on like a pair of glasses and change his name. That's how dumbed down people are now. It's really fascinating that the amount or the percentage of people who don't fall for one or the other or sit there and bicker over, no, it was this, no, it was that, it couldn't have been this. The percentage that actually go, you realize that this was completely a staged production, right? I think they used AI, CGI, whatever. I think they may have, like I said, they keep talking about what was under his shirt. Well, ballistic, no, it wasn't. It's not big enough. It's a microphone. I think it was a contraption that consisted of like compressed air and electricity. I think they shocked him and fired off a burst of compressed air, and it was over like, in a second. Shirt flew up, poofed out. He reacted, his body did, because he was being electrocuted, I think. And he knew that once the shock stopped, he was to drop the mic and roll off the chair. Keep his eyes closed. Let's some guys carry him away. And that's it. Exit stage left. But the percentage of people who can see through the fact that instead of saying, oh, this narrative's right, no, the percentage of people that can go, it's all fake, none of it. You guys are arguing about something that never happened, but you each have a side. And there's still people talking about how it deflected off body armor. To this day, I saw it today, somebody, and they don't even say, in my opinion, like I said, they state it as a fact in the comments. They'll be like, it deflected off his, it's like, you have zero evidence. It's just a claim. It's nothing. And there's still people that are in that mindset, in that flow state where they're just, literally NPCs, where they think they know what happened because they were told and it makes sense to their little minds. So that's it. When you point out, like, you realize that, like, he's still alive, like none of this even happened, right? They short circuit. It's like telling them the earth is flat or we didn't go to the moon. They literally, or there were no kids at Sandy Hook. The school was empty. They literally lose it. And so my advice is just stay out of it. Let it happen. God's in control. This is all, nothing happens unless he allows it. So all this stuff that's happening, all the deceptions that are coming, all the false Christs, because now Charlie's a Christ too, and his wife's a Christ, and it's insane. So just let it happen. It's all been foretold. It's gonna happen. If anything, focus on where the energy has taken things. I kind of think that it's going to go to more of a totalitarian. I think people are going to start getting apprehended, and they're going to start with, like I said, homeless, and then the loony lefts, the immigrants, and then you. That's where this is going. It's like it's a soft boil, like the frog in the pot, where they just slowly turn it up. It's going to start with these groups that you're all for, like, or not you, but like the MAGA cult and stuff. They're like, yeah, get those illegals out of here. Yeah, get those leftist Democrat loonies out of here. Yeah, get the homeless out of here. They just poop on the street. And then it's going to be them. And like I said, by the time you see that or realize it, way too late. Because now it's just, a bunch of cult members who are pretty much, what are they going to do? That's, and there could be more to it. There could be, I don't know. I don't get invited to the evil meetings. I don't know what their plans are, but instead of trying to figure out how a 30-06 could possibly, just understand that it's a psyop. It's a psychological operation. Yeah. In some, they actually do take people out, and in theory, I guess, to really take someone out would be easier, because when they fake it, there's just a million tells. Like, it's obvious that it's not reality. So yeah, would they have done themselves more good by just really taking him out, yeah, I mean, it would have been, but for whatever reason, they decided to fake it. So, um, what they're really doing, this is a ritual. This is harvesting of energy. There is so much fear, anger, um, anxiety, all these, the whole country right now is, well, almost, you know, the NPCs, which are even higher percentage than I thought. I mean, I always thought, especially during COVID, I was like, oh dear, we're screwed. Like, I had no idea there were that many gullible, stupid people that would fall for something that was so poorly done and so poorly executed. I mean, the dancing nurses, are you kidding me? They do mock you and people still can't see it. Like, they literally had choreographed professional dancers dressed as nurses pretending to be dancing in a hospital, and people bought it. They're like, nobody questioned it. Like, I thought these people were like knee deep in bodies and like overworked and, you know, working 27 hours a day, and but they have time, and nobody questioned it. Like, you know, in between stepping over all these bodies, let's all get together and choreograph a dance routine. And then, Bob, we need you to bring your best video camera from home. And we're going to need music. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And when I saw that, I was like, oh dear, we're way worse off than I thought we were. I thought there would be some resistance. Very little. They threatened people with not being able to get on an airplane. That's all it took. And a lot of those people probably during that whole time period never even took a flight, but they just, the thought of like, I can't get on an airplane. That's all it took. Or, I mean, think about this. People allowed a complete stranger to jam something up their nose in a parking lot for a free donut. When you really put it into perspective and say, there's people that would let a total stranger shove a stick halfway up into their brain in a parking lot for a donut, and you realize, like, we're really screwed. Like, this is way worse than I could have ever imagined as far as where people are at. And then after that, because of so many people took the jab, imagine how bad it was before and during that, and then now after. And I think this event shows us that the brain worms have just literally devoured what's in between most people's ears. I think they're just running on fumes. They're like how an insect appears to just be like, reacts on like electrical impulses. Like, there's no thought process. They just do what ants do. They don't think about it. I think that's basically how most people are getting through life at this point, where they just, it's almost like a robot. Like, they just get up, do their routine, go to their slave job, like the things they're supposed to like, do the things that they're expected to do, cheer for the team that they're supposed to cheer for. I mean, it's literally just, I don't know how people who live like in cities, I can't imagine. I mean, it's, to me, that's my worst nightmare, is to wake up and I'm like living in like, you know, downtown New York or something. It would be, I can't think of like a worse thing to wake up to than to be like, oh my God, I live in a city. So I don't know how these people are doing it. I think they're barely coping. It's really, like I said, I think we've gone over the tipping point, and I have zero faith that there's any going back at this point. I think we're headed for the Great Tribulation, the day of the Lord. I think because like this world that we're living in now, it's not sustainable. The money's basically useless. Everybody lies to you. Government, media, probably everybody you know, everybody on TikTok, everybody on YouTube, they're all lying to you. It's not sustainable. You know, like, we've been teetering on like a major war for what, the last 5 years, 8 years. And it just goes to show you that those are all fabricated. So they won't start that until everything's in place and it's the right time, according to them. You've got all these countries in Europe and stuff that are being overrun, and apparently they're starting to get fatigued and tired of it. But they protest. They go out in the streets and they have flags and they yell and scream. They don't care. You can yell and scream until like you lose your voice, and they just wait it out until you're tired. You go back home, and they continue on. So people are saying like, oh, Switzerland, or where is it? Sweden? Maybe Sweden. Sweden's had it. Yeah, sure they have. What are they going to do? They're going to bitch and moan, and it'll simmer down, and their oppression will get even worse. So I don't know. Like I said, I can't see. I don't think that the level that the world's at right now is sustainable, and I don't see any. There's too many players who are benefiting and who are part of this destruction of America. And I mean, I don't know, a good chunk, if not most of the world. I don't know of a country you can go to right now where everything's sweet, the government's cool and people are all happy, economy's fine. I don't know if there is one, but like I said, it's not sustainable. It can't last much longer at this pace. And there's all these people benefiting because they're going along with the narrative. And so they get their, treats. There's no incentive for any of the people who are responsible or participating to go backwards. I mean, why would they? So nothing that, like today, you can look back on today, maybe 6 months from now, and think, wow, wish we were back in September of 25, because this will look good. It's like COVID. People are going to look back on the COVID, like the lockdown, the pandemic thing. They're going to look back on that as the good old days. It's not going to go backwards. It's just going to continue getting worse and worse and worse. And they pretty much disarmed most of the world. There's nothing people can do. And plus they've got weapons that, I mean, even the psychological weapons like they're using right now. Most people they have no defense for it because most people aren't actual believers in Christ, the Holy Spirit, repented, following only Jesus. So they have no defense. They could use frequencies. They can use actual like energy weapons. They're not worried about I've got 2 AR-15s and a pistol. They don't care. It's going to bounce right off their stuff. They'll take you out. You won't even see it coming. Take you out from a Predator drone, whatever they were testing on the East Coast, calling them UAPs. They're not concerned about. They're like, oh, America's the last country. We can defend ourselves. No, you can't. You're going to defend yourself with what? Pistols, rifles? Okay. You have fun with that. So the best thing to do is just to just pay attention to where this is going. Don't get involved. Don't pick a side. You should be on the side of Jesus and let all these crazy people bicker and yell and make TikTok videos or whatever they do to make themselves feel better, and understand that we live on, all the world is a stage. They tell us all the world's a stage. They call it political theater. They call war the theater of war. They tell you it's all scripted and fake. So don't be in this world, but not of it, like the Bible says. Yeah, we're here. We drew the short straw. We're here during this time frame. Make the best of it, but don't get involved. Just let it happen. Stay focused on Christ, because remember, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So they can't hurt you. What's the worst they could do? Send you home to see Jesus? That's the worst thing they could do to you. So don't worry about it. Just you could almost get into the mindset where you just watch it like you're watching a really crazy series, and the writers are just insane. And every week you watch an episode and you're like, oh my God, this is just getting crazy. I can't believe this is nuts. Just look at it from that perspective. Like you're watching a movie that you have no idea what's coming next and nothing would surprise you. And when it does happen, you just go, whoa, I didn't see that coming. All right. And move on. Because you're not going to get the truth from anyone. That's, even if you dig for the truth, there's so many rabbit holes and so many misdirections. It's ridiculous. So just focus on the living word, the gospel, and let this world burn, because it's going to burn. Like I said, I didn't give two shits about Charlie. Didn't watch him, didn't care, because I think politics is fake and gay. So why would I give any energy to that when I know it's all just ridiculous? But I didn't see it coming. Of course I wouldn't, because like I said, it wouldn't. But it did open my eyes to the fact that nothing's off the table. Like it could be, like I said, a political assassination. It could be an invasion, a war. It could be, quote unquote terrorist attack of a American symbol like the Golden Gate Bridge or the Statue of Liberty or Mount Rushmore or whatever. Who knows? It could be anything. It could be something none of us could even dream of. It could be so crazy. Nobody saw the Charlie Kirk thing coming. I'm surprised. It kind of shows the power of the media, because literally I would say, I don't know, 15, 20%, maybe less of America prior to that event could have told you who he was and said, and now they made it big enough to where it's actually shifting like the Overton window and focusing the narrative. And it's like, well, nobody even hardly knew who this guy was. Like, how can but when they get the power of the media with the Smith-Mundt Act repealed, so they don't have to tell you the truth anymore. But the power of the media and the politicians and the government, they can literally steer an entire country based off an event that allegedly happened to someone that the vast majority of the population has never heard of until that day. So it's pretty amazing. Like I said, the psychological warfare that they're able to wage on the public and wage it successfully, which is crazy. Like I said, if you watch any part of that memorial, I guess it was yesterday, was it? These people it's a cult. They're brainwashed. Everybody there was there. They were all in, Charlie died. We got to do something about it. America. And they had their flags. And it was just like, wow. They all believed. Everybody was 90 to 300,000 something, whatever the number range. All those people believe a lie. And that's just the surface. Because they also, a lot of them think they're going to be raptured in, was it Tuesday or Wednesday, 23rd, 24th, somewhere in there. And then when that doesn't happen, like I said, they're going to switch to the 3 days of darkness and start putting dark plastic over and taping it over their windows. And there's already people stocking up on food and water just for the 3 days of darkness, which again isn't going to happen, but they could fake it. I don't know. I don't know what kind of technology they have where they could basically blot out the sun. I don't think they can do it, but who knows? But like I said, watch when the rapture doesn't happen. Watch the narrative shift to 3 days of darkness or something else. They might, focus on Charlie Kirk or whatever, but they're not going to address the fact that they told everybody this was going to happen on this date and it didn't happen. They'll just move on and nobody will question it. They'll be fine with it because people are retarded. All right. Take care. God bless. Bye.